Tharwah, the Saudi firm specialising in human capital advisory services, is gaining recognition as one of the leading consulting and training firms in the Middle East, as they look to expand beyond the kingdom with offices recently opened in both the UAE and Egypt. Tharwah has just launched its initial public offering. And to tell us more, I'm delighted to be joined by Abdullah Al Zahrani, the founder and CEO of Tharwah. Welcome, Abdullah.
Thank you very much, Sally. Glad to be here with you.
It's great to have you. Now, over the last 12 years, Tharwah has become one of the fastest growing human capital consulting firms in Saudi Arabia. Talk to us about what some of the key decisions and strategies that have led to this growth.
Yeah, it's certainly an exciting journey we've been on for the past 12 years. The timing of us starting earlier in the decade, I think, contributed greatly to our growth momentum. As you probably know, there are so many macro level drivers in Saudi Arabia specifically that led to our growth, including Vision 2030 and also the transformation that is taking place in the kingdom, both in the public and private sector, which really required a firm like Tharwah to basically grow and increase its scale over the years. Certainly, our laser focus on human capital advisory services have contributed greatly to this growth. Our focus on our client satisfaction and also increasing the breadth of our services, focusing on advisory services, talent assessment, employee development as major contributing revenue streams for us. And our laser focus on becoming the center of expertise in human capital advisory services in the region remains to be our vision, and we continue to focus on that going forward.
And so why is now the right time for Tharwah's IPO, and how is that going to impact the company's growth trajectory?
That's an excellent question, Sally. We do believe in Tharwah that we have grown steadily over the past 12 years organically, and this growth was fueled by growth in our clientele, growth in our revenue streams, etc. We do believe right now, with the factors in the economy in Saudi Arabia specifically and in the region, there requires to be more inorganic methods of growth in terms of acquisitions, mergers in different parts of the region that will allow us to increase our span of influence in the region. We do believe that right now, with the different initiatives taking place, such as the participation of the kingdom in the Expo 2030, the World Cup, there are so many things happening in addition to the 2030 vision, which by itself is a huge contributing factor for us to increase our rate of our growth. So all of this led us to know that, now is the time for us to basically put our weight, bring in more investors on board, allow us to grow inorganically, to allow us our span of control, our span of influence in the market, allowing us to speed up our growth and benefit from this economic cycle.
And so as you reflect on the company's financial performance over the last 2 years, Abdullah, what are some of the insights into Tharwah's sales growth from 2022 to 2024 that you can share, and some of the key drivers behind that, and the contracts that are going to be critical for the company this year?
So over the past, if I were to look at it from over the past 3 years, in Tharwah, we have executed contracts worth more than 150 million Saudi riyal. And these contracts, basically, they have a revolving factor year over year. So if we look in 2024 today, we have a backlog of almost 100 million Saudi riyal in terms of contracts. And we're talking here contracts only in Saudi Arabia. And with our growth, inshallah, that we are anticipating over the next couple of years, we are very confident that we will continue our year over year of 20% growth in our sales, and also growth in our different markets, and also new streams of business that we have created this year that will allow us to continue our growth momentum. Over the past 3 years, our growth was north of 80% year over year. However, going forward, given that our scale of growth continues to increase, we do believe that having a modest 20% growth is a more aligned with what we are anticipating. But we do believe that we will beat these numbers, inshallah, going forward.
I love that you're talking about 20% growth being modest. It really is extraordinary what you've achieved so far. And so now that you've launched your IPO, what are Tharwah's immediate and long-term expansion plans? And are there specific markets or sectors that you're targeting for growth, both in the kingdom and across the region?
So that's an excellent question, Sally, because that's part of the IPO proceeds that we plan to bring into the firm. We are planning basically 4 major spending areas. One is expanding our specialization, both in the consulting and training. As you probably know, being an advisory firm, your specialization is very key. So having basically more specialized, human capital consultants is crucial. Not only that, but also your spend on research and development is very crucial during this period to ensure that you continue your basically vertical expansion and horizontal expansion into different specialization that you bring to your firm and to your clients. In addition to that, we are planning also geographical expansion, as you alluded to, moving into new markets in the GCC specifically over the next 2 to 3 years. We do believe that the GCC countries are going through similar transformation activities. And given our experience that we have accumulated over the years, we do believe that we can contribute significantly to those countries in these markets. So the third area of expansion we're planning is our investment into AI and technology. The AI revolution that is taking place everywhere in the world is somewhat also happening here in the region. And we want to increase our investment in creating products and also solutions that center around artificial intelligence and the use of technology. Now, the last but not least area that we're planning to spend the IPO proceeds is into operational expenditure. And basically, we're planning only 20% to go into that route. More than 80% goes into the 3 pillars that I have alluded to. And these are what we believe will help us in the coming years to continue the momentum of our growth.
Abdullah, they certainly are exciting times of growth for Tharwah. Abdullah Zahrani, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Sally.